Petroleum, Coker Hampton, Durden Heating and Cooling, Express Employment, Farmers and Merchants Bank, Freemeyer's Best Brands Plus, The French Seam, Southern Bancorp, Katie Shack, Konechny Insurance, Lehman Tree Service, Lane, Max Prairie Wings, Pearson Company, Prairie Implement Company, Stedman's Ace Hardware, TechStream, U.S. Irrigation, and Wilkerson Jewelers. Ricebird coverage starts now.
A full house at the Ricebird Athletic Complex as we're getting set for the semifinal round of the 4A2 regional tournament between a couple of old rivals in South Central Arkansas, the Stuttgart Ricebirds, the Lonoke Jackrabbits, here from the campus of Stuttgart High School. This is the Blue Seal Petroleum pregame show. I'm Cole Sherman. Andrew Skinner's on the EAB Stuttgart YouTube channel. Luke Methvin back at the station on the 105.5 The Duck board. It's a part of the EAB Sports Radio Network. Welcome, and it is a beautiful Friday afternoon here on the Grand Prairie. It's sunny, and it is windy, a little, well, we'll call it breezy, as the wind blowing from the left to the right. It's going to knock the baseball down to left field, push it from left to right, as we are just about 15 minutes away from first pitch in this baseball game. The Jackrabbits just wrapped up their pregame infield. Stuttgart takes the field now. They're going to go through pregame as we will get you set for the upcoming game. Also tell you what's happening in the softball fields across the way from us. Give you an update on the the regional brackets, and tell you a little bit about the upcoming state tournament that the Ricebirds qualified for with their win yesterday afternoon over the, who did we play? We played Highland, over the Highland Rebels. All right, so we'll go ahead and tell you the brackets as we start play here today. This game originally was scheduled for a 2:30 first pitch. We're probably going to be somewhere closer to 3:25 when it's all said and done. We'll start with the 4A2 regional update for the baseball side of the bracket here in Stuttgart. Yesterday, first-round games, where there were 4 first-round baseball games. Of course, those were the biggest ones of the tournament, as the winners not only qualified for the semifinals, but also will make a trip to the 4A state tournament next week in Monticello. In the early game, the 10 o'clock game, Southside Batesville knocked off Westside 3-2. Brooklyn outlasted the Wynn Yellow Jackets by a final score of 5-4. Stuttgart with a come-from-behind 5-2 win over Highland. And in the nightcap, a very late nightcap, these Jackrabbits from Lonoke, they knocked off Gosnell by a final score of 4-2. So Lonoke, Stuttgart, Brooklyn, and Southside advanced to the semifinal round today. We've already had one semifinal game. That one started at noon. It was actually, it's the reason we are so late today. It was a long baseball game. It was one of the longest third innings I believe I've ever watched. And it was the Brooklyn Bearcats that came out on top. They knocked Southside off 11-7 to advance to the regional championship game tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. This is the second semifinal game. The winner of this one will move on to play the Bearcats at 2:30. The loser will move to the consolation third place game, where they will play the Southside Batesville Southerners. So Stuttgart, regardless of the outcome here this afternoon, they'll move on to play baseball tomorrow. It's either going to be for third place or it's going to be for a regional championship here in the 4A2 regional. It is a beautiful day. We have a really nice crowd here. Quite a pretty good contingent from Lonoke made the 45-minute trip over to Stuttgart, and of course a very, very strong showing from the host team from Stuttgart. Now we'll switch it over, give you the updated 4A2 regional softball standings in on the other field across the way. Same deal, 8 teams, 4 games yesterday. Lonoke won their first-round game, the 10 o'clock game, 6-5 over Pocahontas, and then it was Southside upsetting, a minor upset, I should say, over the Brooklyn Lady Bearcats 9-2. Jonesboro Westside knocked the Ricebirds out of the tournament with a 7-1 win, and then in the nightcap yesterday, it was Gosnell 3-2 over the Lady Yellow Jackets of Wynn. Lonoke and Westside and Gosnell played in the 12 o'clock game. That game was originally at 2:30, but to accommodate Gosnell's graduation ceremonies this afternoon or this evening, that game was flip-flopped and they played at noon, and it was Gosnell that moved on. They won the game by, I think, 3 runs. It was actually a big 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th that gave Gosnell the breathing room that they needed. Right now, Lonoke and Southside are underway. They're in the second inning, and at last check, there was no score in that one. So Gosnell awaits the winner of Lonoke and Southside. Jonesboro Westside awaits the loser of Lonoke and Southside tomorrow. Those are the consolation and championship games. Noon for the consolation game and 2:30 for the championship game here in the 4A2 regional tournament. So that's your regional tournament update on the Blue Seal Petroleum pregame show. And we'll go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for the two teams. There's a few changes to the lineup, but pretty much the same group that we saw on the field yesterday for Stuttgart's win over Highland. We'll tell you all about it in 3 minutes. You're listening to Ricebird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck. We're a part of the EAB Sports Radio Network. This is the Blue Seal Petroleum pregame show.
Hi, this is Jennifer Smith from Wilkerson Jewelers. The real value in any jewelry is the sentimental connection that you have to the pieces you own. The beautiful earrings your grandparents gave you when you graduated. The amazing engagement ring your fiancé surprised you with. The watch your company presented you with when you retired from your job. For over 50 years, Wilkerson's has been a part of those special moments. And we love that we get to be a small part of some of the most important experiences of your lives. No matter what your budget, come in to shop or check us out online at wilkersonjewelers.com. Easy financing and layaway are available. At Wilkerson Jewelers in beautiful downtown Stuttgart, we want to build memories with you.
Express Employment Professionals in Stuttgart has immediate openings for all job types and skill levels. Come in today to apply or go online to expresspros.com. Express is now hiring clerical, office administration, warehouse and production, equipment operators, CDL drivers, welders, machine operators, general labor, and all sorts of skilled trades. Even if you're just thinking about a new job, start your search with Express Employment Professionals at 1904 South Main in Stuttgart. Come in today or go online to expresspros.com.
Hello, this is Kyle Stovison with Ag Heritage Farm Credit Services in Stuttgart. If you're looking to purchase or refinance farm real estate, equipment, cattle, or need capital for your crop operating expenses, we finance it all and share our profits through our patronage program. At Ag Heritage, we have friendly loan officers, competitive rates, and most of all, a lender who provides you with a financing package tailor-made to fit your individual needs. Please contact Kevin Wingfield or myself, Kyle Stovison, in Stuttgart at 870-673-1558. Ag Heritage Farm Credit Services is an equal housing lender.
Baptist Health Women's Clinic Stuttgart is committed to providing quality patient care through all stages of a woman's life. We understand that different health concerns come with each new phase of a woman's life, so we provide education services, trained staff, and a board-certified OBGYN to meet every female body need. From pregnancy and childbirth to osteoporosis and gynecological exams, Baptist Health delivers the care you need to pursue a lifetime of wellness. Learn more at BaptistHealthWomen.com. Baptist Health, for you, for life.
Do you know how much life insurance your partner has? What company is it with? Do you have life insurance? Is it through your employer only, or do you have a policy that you own? This is Holly Brothers, and as a life insurance agent, it is my responsibility to discuss the types of coverage available to you and put a plan in place for when your employer no longer provides coverage. Life insurance costs more as we age, so don't wait to apply. Let's lock in your rate today and save. Give Keith or myself a call at Connection Insurance 870-673-9249.
Tohatsu Outboard offers 4-stroke motors from 2.5 to 250 horsepower, and all with a 5-year warranty. Built with their one-of-a-kind direct injection technology, Tohatsu has revolutionized environmental performance, uncompromising in their pursuit of durable and lightweight outboard motors. And with interest rates as low as 4.99% financing, now is the time to get a new Tohatsu motor from Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart. Call Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart or click on maxbw.com. Great service and competitive prices. Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart. The hunt begins here.
All right, we are back here as we are just moments away from first pitch between the Ricebirds and the Jackrabbits. The two teams have gone through their pregame infield, and the umpires are meeting with the Lonoke and Stuttgart coaches right now to go over the ground rules. We actually have the same home plate umpire that we had yesterday against Highland, which I think is a pretty good thing. He had a good strike zone, stayed very consistent, so he will be the home plate umpire here for this second semifinal matchup here in the 4A2 regional tournament. All right, let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups for the two teams. We'll start with the team that will come to the plate first, the visitors from Stuttgart. Leading things off will be the designated hitter, number 3, Caden Scaife. Austin Fontenot bats second and plays center field. J.D. Herzog's in the 3 spot. He'll be at the second baseman today, while Bo Barnes will hit cleanup and play third. Dagan Duncan is in the 5 spot. He's the first baseman. Keaton Byers is at shortstop. He bats 6th. Lane Smith is in left field batting 7th, while Cameron Rogers is over in right field batting 8th. Hayden Prine into the lineup this afternoon. He will be behind the plate for the Ricebirds. And then not in the lineup, but certainly a part of the game will be this afternoon's pitcher, the right-handed number 12, Axton McCray. So your lineup this afternoon: For the Rice Birds, Scaife, Fontenot, Herzog, Barnes, Duncan, Byers, Smith, Rogers, and Prine. And then in the defensive alignment, but not in the lineup, will be the pitcher, number 12, Axton McCray. Battery behind the plate, of course, is Hayden Prine. He's been the catcher for Stuttgart all season long, and McCray on the bump. Defensively for the Jackrabbits, we'll go around the horn. Starting at first base, number 23, Kalen Calhoun. Second baseman is number 15, Walker Smith. Third base is number 9, Tyson Vance. Shortstop, he's not in the lineup, but he will be defensively. Number 22, Will Payne. The left fielder is number 11, Darius Jeffries. Center field, number 5, J.T. Stewart. Over in the right field corner, Tanner Starks. Behind the plate for the Jackrabbits this afternoon is Ryder Engel. And on the mound, number 1, Peyton Wallace. So that's the defensive lineup for the Jackrabbits as they look to advance to the regional final, as do the Rice Birds. Winner of this game moves on to play Brooklyn in the regional final. Loser will play Southside Batesville in the consolation round to determine seeding in next week's 4A state tournament in Monticello. So a lot at stake here, but we talked to some of the players and the coaches yesterday after the Rice Birds win, and kind of the feeling was, hey, all the pressure's off. Now we can just go out on a beautiful Friday afternoon and enjoy playing some baseball. So hopefully both teams, specifically the Rice Birds, will come out very loose here this afternoon. Maybe we can see Stuttgart jump on Peyton Wallace here early in the top of the first inning. So Wallace is finished with his warm-up pitches, and we are just ready for the home plate umpire to point in his direction to say play ball. He's actually talking to Coach Dontrell Brown right now. And it will be Caden Scaife leading things off for Stuttgart. Of course, as we mentioned earlier in the Blue Seal Petroleum pregame show, a very breezy day as the wind is blowing in. It's going to knock everything down in the air to left field. It'll push from left to right, so the wind could be a factor. And our home plate umpire is actually still talking to Coach Brown right outside the dirt around home plate. So not sure what that conversation is about, but doesn't seem like it's animated at all, just more of an information conversation. So that is finished. Coach Brown heads down to the third base box as we are ready for first pitch in this one. It looks like we're going to have a start time of 3:23 here this afternoon. So 3:23 start time. 57 minutes late, but that's okay. We've got a beautiful day, and Caden Wallace's first pitch is outside for ball 1. Got a nice raucous student section here this afternoon, right below us. You'll probably hear them for some of the game, especially if the Rice Birds come out on top, and Scaife has worked a 2-0 count now. One thing Caden does, he gets on base. He is on base quite a bit for the Rice Birds. And that one catches the outer third, and it's 2 balls and a strike on the Rice Bird designated hitter. Straightaway defensively, maybe Lonoke a tick shallow in left. That's expected with the wind blowing in from left. Center fielder playing pretty shallow as well. Third baseman in on the grass as the 2-1 is on the way, and it is upstairs for ball 3. So Scaife is working Wallace to the best of his ability. As, boy, these Stuttgart students just below our broadcast position are making some noise right now. Home field advantage could be a factor if the Rice Birds could put a little juice in the air here early in this one. Here's the 3-1. Swing and a miss. That was ball 4. As that was, he kind of pitched him backwards. He gave him some breaking stuff on 3-1. I don't think Caden was expecting. He was looking dead red. I think he was swinging no matter what right there. And now the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As Wallace works from the windup, here's the pitch. Curveball almost hit him, and it's going to be ball 4. So leadoff walk for the Rice Birds. Caden Scaife heads down to first base. That brings the center fielder, Austin Fontenot, to the plate. We'll see how Coach Brown wants to play it. Early in this one, I bet he lets Mr. Fontenot swing away. But he did have Austin put the bunt down once yesterday. With the wind blowing the way it is, runs could be hard to come by. We'll see. They shift around on the infield a little bit. Third baseman now about 2 steps in on the grass. As the pitch is on the way to Fontenot, that's a curveball that misses. I think it must have missed down, so it's 1-0. Middle infield has shifted a tick toward the first base side of the pitcher's mound, or the second baseman is. Kind of tightened up a little bit for 2 there. So there's some room out there. Fontenot can pull one. As the 1-0 delivery from Wallace is on the way, and that one is maybe a little bit generous over the outer half. I don't know about that one. I don't think Stuttgart's student section thought it was a strike either. So 1-1. As the 1-1 delivery from Wallace is on the way. Fontenot hits it the other way. They're going to try to turn two. The throw to second's in time. Relay, he couldn't get it out of his glove, and he throws it in the dirt. So fielder's choice, Fontenot reaches. That's going to be a 5-4 put out of Scaife at second for the first out of the inning. Fontenot reaches on a fielder's choice for J.D. Herzog. J.D. came to the plate 3 times yesterday with 2 outs and the bases empty. It was finally in the top of the 7th inning. They got J.D. to the plate with a couple on. He delivered with a base hit into right center field to tie the game. He ended up being chased around for the go-ahead run when Bo Barnes hit the double down the left field line, which proved to be the game-winning run. As the first pitch to J.D.'s on the way in the dirt, ball 1. A lot of emotion yesterday after that win. The first time Stuttgart has qualified for the 4A state tournament since, believe it or not, 2013, when Dontrell Brown was a senior. 1-0 is a strike on the corner. I remember listening to that game, sitting over at the Wrench Athletic Complex during a youth baseball tournament. They were playing Arkadelphia. I was sitting on the old Gator just outside of Field 5, listening to that one. I was probably trying to just stay away from people at that point. Hiding. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. Did he go? He did not. 2 balls and a strike. And J.D. is ahead in the count. Feels like there's a little more energy at the park today than even yesterday, as these clouds have actually kind of cleared here. It'll be a pretty day. 2-1 curveball hit to the third baseman. Candy hop to him. Throw to second in time. Relay in the dirt. Picked it out. That's a double play. So nice turn of the double play. That's a 5-4-3 to record both Fontenot and Herzog for outs number 2 and 3 of the first. So Wallace pitches to the minimum in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no one left on base. We head to the bottom of the first inning with no score. Axton McCray takes the mound. When we come back in 90 seconds, you're listening to Ricebird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
At Blue Seal Petroleum, serving you is their privilege. Blue Seal extends a heartfelt thank you to their valued customers across Arkansas and surrounding counties. Your trust in Blue Seal for your fuel, tire, and service needs is truly appreciated. It's your loyalty that has fueled their commitment to excellence for over 80 years. From the entire team at Blue Seal Petroleum, thank you for choosing them. They're here for you always. When you need them, call Blue Seal in DeWitt at 870-946-2281. And for Stuttgart, call 870-673-3126.
Are you tired of unreliable internet service? Do you constantly run over your data plan? Are you having trouble getting internet service where you live? With TextStream high-speed internet, you'll get consistent high speeds and low latency that doesn't stop at city limits. TextStream high-speed internet is perfect for homes, small and large businesses, farmers, and hunting clubs. You'll be able to stream, game, and surf with no interruptions. Servicing Arkansas, Lonoke, Prairie, Jefferson, and Lincoln counties. TextStream is your locally owned and operated high-speed internet solution. Call toll-free 866-268-0101 or visit TextStream.net.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're not just a bank, we're a part of your community. That's why we're dedicated to being the neighbors who are in your corner right here in Arkansas. Whether you're saving for a new home, planning for your future, or managing your everyday finances, Farmers and Merchants Bank has the friendly local knowledge and personalized services to help you reach your goals. Farmers and Merchants Bank, in your corner, supporting the community we all call home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Axton McCray on the mound for the Ricebirds in the semifinal matchup with the Jackrabbits. Defensively for the Ricebirds, Dagan Duncan plays first base. J.D. Herzog's at second. Bo Barnes is at third. Keaton Byers is at shortstop. Lane Smith patrols left field. Austin Fontenot in center. Camden Rogers in right. Hayden Prine is behind the plate. Top of the order for the Jackrabbits, J.T. Stewart, Peyton Wallace, and Kalen Calhoun. If anyone reaches, Lane Auks will bat. For the number 2 seed out of the 4A6 conference, the Lonoke Jackrabbits. Lonoke actually swept the Ricebirds in the regular season. That first one here in Stuttgart was very, very competitive between Herzog and Wallace. And then the Bunnies got the best of the Birds at their place. So this is game number 3 between the Rice Birds and the Jackrabbits. Dagan Duncan, my understanding, is available today, but they're going to try to get as much as they can out of Axton. And if they need Dagan, I think my understanding is he is available. He did not go over his pitch limit yesterday. J.D. Herzog is not available. He is done for the remainder of the tournament, so he can't pitch tomorrow or today. So the assumption is it's going to be McCray as long as he can go, and then Coach will decide whether the situation calls for the left-handed Duncan or probably Keaton Byers at shortstop. So J.T. Stewart will lead things off. First pitch is fouled to the left side. Almost set out of play, but I don't want to make that mistake too quickly because that wind could easily blow some of those foul balls back into the field of play. It did get out of play for strike 1. Caden Scaife would typically be an option out of the bullpen, but he's dealing with a hip injury, so I don't know if he is available or not. So a little bit limited the rest of the way here this week, as that 0-1 caught the bottom half of the zone, and McCray's ahead 0-2. Axton is a sophomore right-hander, works predominantly, or completely, I should say, out of the stretch. As the next one to Stewart, curveball hit him. Boy, he leaned into that one a little bit. They're going to say that he's going to be awarded first base, but it sure looked like he just kind of leaned into that curveball. McCray's actually looking into the Stuttgart dugout saying he put his elbow in it. And now Coach Brown wants to talk about it. He wants to see if he can get the umpires to come together and see if maybe that's what happened. We'll see. They're going to talk about it. Which Coach Brown's not asking if it hit him. He's asking whether or not he leaned into the pitch or not. So we'll see. The 3 umpires are getting together. One's saying he got him on the arm, which that's pretty obvious. He got it on the arm, but he's not asking that. That's what Coach Brown's telling him right now. I'm not saying he didn't get hit. But as it is, it's going to be a leadoff HBP for J.T. Stewart. He stands at first base for Peyton Wallace. So maybe a break that goes the way of the Jackrabbits here early on in the bottom of the first. Wallace, the pitcher, bats from the right side. As McCray's first one to him's outside for ball 1. Prine kind of looked toward first base. We know he is not afraid to throw behind a runner. He did that a lot yesterday. Stuttgart is very, very mindful of base runners. As the 1-0 from McCray is on the way, it is upstairs 2-0. Keaton Byers takes a few steps towards second base, so a pretty good size hole between short and third. Fontenot is straight away in center. Here's the 2-0. It's fouled to the backstop, 2-1. Caleb Calhoun's on deck. He's the Jackrabbits' first baseman. As when the game before this one ended, we thought maybe some rain might be moving in, but it looks like it is clearing off quite nicely here for the afternoon game. Check on the runner, and Stewart's back easily. This is probably the best defensive lineup that the Rice Birds can put on the field behind McCray, with Herzog and Byers up the middle. Rogers and Fontenot in the outfield, along with Lane Smith. There goes the runner. Pitch is a ball, and Stewart steals second easily. Boy, he called that pitch a ball. That sure looked pretty good to me. He said it's a ball, 3-1. McCray's actually kind of looking around saying, you called that a ball? I thought that might have been a center cut fastball. So base runner at second with nobody out and a 3-1 count on the batter. Stewart, pretty good lead at second. They might have him if they go quick. He's got a big lead at second. Pitch comes to the plate, and that is a strike on the outer half. Wallace threw his bat to the dugout, and he's telling the home plate umpire, that's my fault. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to agree with Wallace on that. That pitch was off the plate, but the one before that was center cut. So we're kind of guessing up there in the strike zone right now. Yeah, we're just saying, hey, it's a balancing act at this point. You know, it's in the aggregate. Do we get them right in the aggregate? All right, count goes full. Stewart stands at second. Wallace at the plate with a full count. As McCray has the sign from Prine, comes set, baseball in the glove from the chest. Here it is, and it's a curveball fouled out of play. That one might have been a vehicle. We have hit a few so far. I saw I saw a Toyota Camry get a ding in the door today, or maybe that was yesterday. A minivan got popped pretty good in the game before this one. Here's the full count delivery. Popped him up. Shallow center field. The wind's pushing it to right. Fontenot has a long way to run. Rogers calls him off, makes the catch, and it's not deep enough to tag the runner. Good job by the outfield to communicate there. Fontenot was going until he was called off. Rogers didn't have to move far. The way it was hit off the bat, it was to straightaway center field. I didn't think Fontenot would move, but the wind pushed it about 30 feet in the direction of Rogers, who took charge, and that's going to be an F9, first out of the inning, to bring Calhoun to the plate. Runner gets his lead. Curveball, a little bit high. Well, I tell you what, they might have had Stewart picked off at second. Herzog snuck in behind him. He was looking at Byers. He is taking a huge lead at second base. That's a lot of room down there. Nobody's there, as they were, I think, trying to put a play on at second base. Nobody covered the bag. They tell you, if you can see that glove behind him, give it a shot. 1-0 to Calhoun. Ground ball right to McCray. They've got him picked off between third and second. He's got a throw, tag in time, got him. Nice play. Axton McCray got Stewart napping off of second base, ran at him, and Bo Barnes applied the tag, and there's two gone now in the bottom of the first inning. Good defense from Axton McCray. So that is a 1-5 put out of Stewart for the second out of the inning. Calhoun reaches on a fielder's choice, and that brings the designated hitter Lane Ox to the plate with 2 outs and a runner at first. So a couple of nice defensive plays by both teams. Lonoke turned a double play in the top of the inning, and then a nice play by McCray right there. The first pitch is outside for ball 1. McCray's gone to the curveball quite a bit here in the first inning. He's mixed his pitches up well. They're going to check on the runner back in time. Ox is the DH for the shortstop, Will Payne. You don't typically see a coach actually designate on his lineup card who is hitting, or who is being designated hit for. You can normally figure it out by the order, but he actually put Payne's name in the lineup below Ox, so that's unusual. That's a fastball over the outer half, and the count moves to 1-1 now. Bo Barnes is protecting the third base line a little bit. He's back on the dirt now with the right-handed hitter Ox at the plate. Infield is shaded up the middle. There goes the runner. Good jump, better throw, tag in time. He got him. Nice throw by Hayden Prine. Calhoun got a pretty decent jump, but the throw was right on the money. Herzog with the tag, and the Rice Birds in the bottom of the first inning with no runs crossing the plate. We go to the top of the second inning, no score. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
Freemeyer's Best Brands Plus has been supporting Ricebirds athletics for 46 years in Stuttgart. We're honored to be a part of the Ricebird tradition. Freemeyer's has joined with some of the best brands in America, including Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, Lazy Boy, and Sealy, to be able to supply our customers with the best values. Now Freemeyer's has gone a step further with guaranteed price matching. If you need home furnishings, make sure you check with Freemeyer's, 201 South Main in downtown Stuttgart. Best brands, best prices, best people.
Are you tired of leaking on yourself? Tired of those embarrassing moments? Do you have chronic sciatica? Low back pain? Are you experiencing painful intercourse? Hemorrhoids? Maybe you're dealing with erectile dysfunction. Would you like to improve your balance? And oh, the incontinence. Did you know that all of that can be resolved in as little as 3 weeks? That's right, only 28 minutes twice a week for 3 weeks. Most people notice a difference after their second session. The Emcella by BTL is so easy to use. You stay fully clothed. It's totally non-invasive. And there is 95% patient satisfaction. This is a breakthrough for incontinence and ED. And we here at the Katie Shack have made all of this relief possible for you. So why put up with those symptoms, especially now that you know that there is a cure? We have special financing available and we have amazing affordable packaging deals. This is FDA approved and proven. Please call us at 870-873-4300 and let us help you on this journey to a better, healthier way of life.
Byers is a sophomore, played a little bit last year, played as a left fielder. Now he's moved into the middle infield. He's probably his more natural position. As the 2-2 from Wallace is on the way. There's that curveball, hit it in the air. That one just might get through, and it does. Just out of the reach of the second baseman and shortstop. They run together, and we're going to have time called as the shortstop and the center fielder had a collision to the first base side of the second base bag, and that didn't look good at all. They both left their feet to try to catch that CNI single into right center field, and I don't know if they hit heads or if it was shoulders or what, but definitely it was not a great-looking play there. I don't know really who came out the worst for wear. The middle infielders are still out there laying on the ground, so we'll go ahead and take a commercial break as they try to sort out the injury, and we'll come back in 1 minute. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
The quality of Pearson Company in Stuttgart has been established across the Grand Prairie for over 30 years. Pearson Company specializes in construction, repair, and maintenance of steel buildings and will custom design your building to your specifications. Our steel buildings are known for their agricultural, industrial, commercial, and recreational uses. When you're planning a new building of any kind, let Pearson Company give you more building for your money. Mickey says when you know who we are, you won't build any other way.
Hi, it's Kim Buffet. Did you know that Coker Hampton Drug Company and Gift Shop, serving downtown Stuttgart for nearly 100 years, is more than just a store? We're deeply committed to our community, supporting schools, youth sports, churches, and other organizations year-round. When you choose Coker Hampton, you're not just making a purchase, you're supporting a legacy of community care. Your support at 218 South Main in downtown Stuttgart strengthens the bond we have with our community. Thank you for making a difference with Coker Hampton Drug Company and Gift Shop.
Okay, everyone's up. It felt like the second baseman may have gotten the worst of it, but they're both up. Looks like they're going to stay in the game as the crowd behind second base breaks up. That was just a CNI single of that curveball from Wallace that Byers was able to sneak between the shortstop and the second baseman. So he stands at first with 2 outs. Lane Smith at the plate. And I'll tell you, Lane Smith has been sneaky good the last few weeks with the bat. He's kind of been, throughout the year, he's been in and out of the lineup, but he has been swinging it pretty good as he actually scored, had a couple of base hits yesterday. He bats with an opportunity maybe to make things interesting here in the top of the second inning. Coach Brown is flashing signs in that box as Byers will take his lead, being held on by Calhoun at first. Not a big lead. They're going to check on him anyway as Keaton's back safely. Top 2, no score, Rice Birds and Jackrabbits. Stuttgart with the lone hit of the day. That was just that Keaton Byers CNI single. Here's the pitch to Smith, and it's in the dirt. Byers is going to move up to second. So now Keaton's in scoring position if Lane Smith could find a gap somewhere. Or really just any kind of base hit if it's deep enough. They'll definitely try to score Keaton. He's fast enough. He can definitely score from second on a base hit with 2 outs, certainly. So Smith will dig in from the right side with a 1-0 count as Wallace works from the stretch. Gives the look to Byers at second. Now he's ready with the 1-0. And that's a strike. And it's 1-1. That might be as good a pitch as Smith sees in this at-bat. A lot of room on the left side as the shortstop's playing very close to the bag. He is trying to keep Byers close. Next one's on the way. Curveball grounded foul down the third base line. And Smith is going to have to hit with 2 strikes now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rice Birds in the home, well, in the maroon tops and the gray bottoms. And a little the Rice Bird logo right above the numbers. Looks like it's the Rice Bird in kind of block letters across the chest. As the 1-2 on the way to Smith is swung and hit to the right side. That's going to get down, base hit, but it's not going to be deep enough to allow Byers to score as they had it played pretty well. As the right fielder got it on a 1 hop. If he would have tried to score, if it would have been a decent throw, Byers would have been out. So the Rice Birds have runners at the corners now for Cameron Rogers. Cameron, had in baseball, there's a lot that you can learn from a scorebook. But yesterday, Cameron had one of the better at-bats of the afternoon that will not go down in the scorebook. He came to the plate with Sinclair for Highland, and he worked the pitcher and made him throw about 8 pitches, which got him above his pitch limit, forcing Highland to make a pitching change in the 7th. Stuttgart couldn't do anything with Sinclair, but they had a feast with the man that came in off the bench. So Cameron, that won't go down in the scorebook, but it definitely contributed to the win for the Ricebirds yesterday. So runners at the corners, we'll see if Stuttgart starts the runner Lane Smith. They're going to hold him on to try to make it tough. Bottom of the order, as Rogers digs in from the left side. Pitch is a curveball outside for ball 1. Lane is not getting a big lead at all. I mean, he is just barely off the bag. He's going to have to get a little bit more if he wants to even consider running. Here's the next one. There's that generous outside corner. They're going to have to adjust. That is being a strike the entire game. So while I do think it is definitely off the plate, Stuttgart's going to have to adjust and at least protect it with 2 strikes. I'm not saying you swing at that with, if you don't have a strike, but if you're 2 strikes, you've got to know that is in the cards here. Here's the next one. Rogers swings through a fastball, and he's behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. So Cameron has not hit it as well this season as he did last year. Cameron spent some time at the top of the Ricebird order a year ago. But he's still in there battling from the left side. Here's the 1-2. There goes the runner. Pitch is hit. Right where he left from. It goes into right. Here comes 1 run. They're going to bring Smith to third. He'll stop there, and the Ricebirds lead it 1-0. They sent the runner. The second baseman vacated, and as a result, Cameron hit it where they ain't, and the Ricebirds lead it 1-0. So nice X's and O's there for the Ricebirds as Cameron Rogers with an RBI single. And that brings Hayden Prine to the plate to try to add some more here in the top of the second. So a 2-out rally here. Back-to-back-to-back singles have given the Birds a 1-0 lead. And let's see if Prine can do something. Boy, that third baseman is way back. There's the first pitch, curveball. That third baseman for Lonoke is playing about 15 feet behind the bag. If Prine could get it past the pitcher down the third base line, that could be a bunt single. They are playing the third baseman so far back. Here comes the 0-1. Popped him up and out of play, so probably takes the bunt out of the equation. I'm sure Stuttgart will start Rogers with 2 strikes, although you may not with the number 9 batter at the plate. You don't want to lead the next inning off with the bottom of the order, but still, it worked the last batter because it made that second baseman vacate his position and turned into an RBI single. Rogers is going to get into a rundown. They're going to ignore him. Here's the pitch, curveball up and in, and it just missed him. So Rogers broke very early, trying to get into a rundown to see if they could get Smith to score from third. Wallace never paid him any attention at all, delivered the pitch anyway. And so now Stuttgart has 2 on in scoring position with the 2-2 count coming to Prine. A base hit could give the Ricebirds a crooked number here. So both runners take their leads. Wallace gives a look, steps off. This inning's kind of gotten a little fast for Wallace, and he's going to call time. I understand that completely. Wallace was in total control. He had 2 outs, and then a little CNI single gets through the shortstop and second baseman, and since then, Wallace has kind of been knocked off his foundation a little bit. So things are lots happening out there quickly for the right-hander. So is it 1-2 or 2-2? Well, regardless, there's 2 strikes anyway, so Prine's going to have to protect.
We get 2 strikes on that steal, and they threw that pitch, and it was a ball.
So here we go. After the break, here is the pitch from Wallace. This is a big pitch in the early innings here. Here it comes. If they're going to go out, nope, Wallace is just not comfortable. He steps off. He's just not totally comfortable right now. Now he's going to get back in contact. Comes set. Here comes that curveball. I'll almost guarantee it. Here it is. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it for the Rice Birds in the top of the second. Stuttgart strands two, but they do get one. They lead Lonoke 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Whether you've got 100 acres to mow or just some brush out back, show Brush who's boss. Wood's line of rotary cutters match a variety of tractors and applications, so you can start clearing tall grass or tough brush right away. With high lift blades and deeper decks for a better overall cut quality, you won't find any other rotary cutters that keep your land in line like Wood's. Stop in to Prairie Implement Company in Stuttgart to find the right Wood's rotary cutter for your next job.
A generator is one of those things you never think about until you really need it. Luckily, Durden's in Stuttgart is your local authorized Generac dealer, and that means we can sell, install, and provide warranty service on your generator. And that's a big deal because a generator is a big investment and you're depending on it to work properly when you need it. Call us today at 673-1356 to learn more about home backup options, portable generators, and even commercial options for your business. And let's save the candlelight dinners just for date night.
Durden's in Stuttgart. Guaranteed comfort since 1960. There's a place to go in South Arkansas County for both your household and farm supplies. Visit U.S. Irrigation Distributors DeWitt location and see Brian for hardware, parts, tools, and household items, plus all your farm needs from levee gates to steel, PVC, and polypipe, Dan's boots with chaps, muck boots, and Twisted X footwear, with new items arriving weekly. For farm and home, see Brian at U.S. Irrigation Distributors DeWitt location at 550 Highway 165 North, or give him a call at 946-4116.
Top of the second inning, Axton McCray back on the rubber with a 1-0 lead after Stuttgart had 3 singles in a row to score with 2 outs. And, you know, again, one of those things that don't really show up in the scorebook. Hayden Prine, yes, he did end the inning with a strikeout, but that means that the top of the order will come to the plate in the third. So there's some of the little things there. As McCray will see 4, 5, and 6. It'll be Lane Ox, Ryder Engel, Tyson Vance. Ox was at the plate when Calhoun was thrown out at second by Hayden Prine. So middle of the order for the Jackrabbits. As the first pitch is on the way, curveball inside. Wind still blowing pretty hard from the east as the 1-0 is down and away for ball 2. Axton started the top of the first, or the bottom of the first, with an HBP, pitched around it. Kind of an interesting way to pitch around it. Had a fly out to the right fielder. 2-0's a strike. That one might have been down, but we'll take it. Fly out to right, then a 1-5 fielder's choice, and a 2-4 caught stealing. Here's the 2-1. Ground ball up the middle. Byers ranges over. Bad hop, gets over his glove. It would have been a pretty good play to make, but if he would have gotten a better hop, I think Keaton would have made it. But it had a lot of top spin and took a real bad hop, got over his glove. That's going to be a hit for Ox to lead things off here. And that brings the catcher, Ryder Engel, to the plate. Engel hits in the 5 spot. I'm convinced he's probably the best. I'm not convinced he's not the best athlete in Lonoke, to be perfectly honest with you. He's not a bad football player either. It's kind of wild watching the kid at the plate. I remember the kid when he was playing Little League. Here's the first one to Engel, and that's a strike over the outer half. Ox takes his lead at first. Not a big lead at all. As McCray will deliver the 1-0 or the 1-0-1, and that one's just a tick outside. So he tried the corner and missed, and it's 1-1. A lot of room pull side. They'll check on Ox at first. He's back in time. Winner of this one moves on to the regional final against Brooklyn. Here's the next one. That's down 3-1. Loser will play Southside in the third place game at noon tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow at noon. I guess you can't say afternoon. It is noon on the money, unless we start at 12:01. Here's the 3-1. Reaches that one off of the plate, hits it to the right side. Rogers with the catch. They're going to sack him up. One gone. Engel just kind of not a great 3-1 swing, honestly. Man, you want to get a better hack at 3-1 than that. And so that'll retire the catcher, F9, for the first out of the inning. Ox has to stay at first base. Tyson Vance, the third baseman, comes to the plate. He made a nice play to end the first, a 5-4-3 double play to retire Herzog and Fontenot. First pitch he sees is, Hayden Prine just stole a strike, fellas. That was off the plate. Prine brought it up back, and he got a strike for McCray. Check of the runner. Back in time. Yesterday, this umpire was extremely consistent, I thought. He has not been nearly so today. His zone has certainly been bigger than what we saw yesterday. Here's the next one. Curveball. That must have been up. Looked like it was right at the belt buckle. And the count's 1-1 now. As McCray works with a runner on first, one out. That's a strike. 1-2. Boy, that's the pitch you're looking for right there. That one was pretty good. Of course, it wasn't a bad spot. It was right at the knees, but still, that was close to a center cut fastball. Here's the 1-2, and we've got time called. Oh, man, that's tough. That was a late time call as McCray was in his delivery. And they awarded Vance time, so no pitch. And the count is still 1-2 strikes as Ox takes a baby lead at first. Ground ball to the right side under the glove of Duncan into right field. Rogers comes up, and he will hold Ox to second base. First and second, one out. So Lonoke shaking something here in the bottom of the order, in the bottom of the second. Duncan almost got leather on it, but just snuck under his glove, and that brings Darius Jeffries, the left fielder, to the plate. Jeffries bats from the left side, and a base hit could tie the game here. Ground ball right at Duncan, and it got between him. It's going to go into right field, and Rogers is going to come up firing, and that's going to leave him loaded. Duncan had that one get on him a little quick, and he saw it go below his glove. That's one of those deals where you're holding the – it did look – was he holding the runner on? He shouldn't have been with runners at first and second, but where he was playing kind of makes me think he was. But as it is, there's the bases loaded with one out, and Lonoke could really open it up here. And that's going to go as an E3 on the Rice Birds, and that's going to load them up for the second baseman, Walker Smith, top of the order, and J.T. Stewart looming. He hit him right in the helmet, and that's going to be a tie score as Lonoke's man's crossing the plate with a whole lot of enthusiasm. Wow. Lane Ox is fired up. Huh. Okay, then. So base is still loaded, one out. As the first pitch from McCray just kind of ear-holed Walker Smith. And, boy, the worst part about it is that brings the top of the order to the plate. No, it doesn't. Tanner Starks is the bottom of the order. I'm sorry. I forget the way that the Lonoke coach, that's a pop-up. Stay in play ball. Wind might push it. Duncan gives it a look. Here comes second baseman Herzog to make the catch. There, are they going to try to tag the runner? They're going to hold him. Nice play by Herzog to range behind Duncan for the second out of the inning. So that is a big play there. The thought being, I wondered if they might try to tag the runner at third. Herzog was paying attention. They couldn't. And so now there's runners. Well, the bases are still loaded. Now 2 outs. And the top of the order now comes to the plate. So big out there. Pop up to Herzog. One to one, and Stuttgart wants to keep it that way. One swing of the bat could change everything. Here is the pitch. Stewart hits it in the air left field. Smith comes in. Out goes Byers. Nice play by the shortstop to end the inning. Smith got a little bit of a late break. Byers went back, fielded his position well, and Stuttgart gets out of it with no more damage done. Lonoke scores 1. We head to the top of the third inning, tied at 1. You're listening to Ricebird Baseball on 105.5 The Dome.
Spring is right around the corner. Get your lawn and flower beds ready with House Nursery and Landscaping. Whether you need beds cleaned out, fresh mulch, new landscaping, or custom flower beds, Michael Lehman and his team have you covered. Upgrade with new metal trim, rich soil, and expert lawn treatments to keep your yard looking its best. Call Michael Lehman at 870-659-0662 or the House Nursery office at 870-830-0606. Schedule your spring makeover today. Located on Highway 79 toward Humphrey, because a beautiful yard starts here.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we know buying a home is more than a transaction. It's a milestone. That's why we're in your corner with mortgage solutions that fit your life. For first-time home buyers to seasoned homeowners, our friendly local mortgage experts at Farmers and Merchants Bank provide personalized guidance and competitive rates, making the path to your new home easier. Farmers and Merchants Bank, in your corner, turning houses into homes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Like you, Stedman's Ace Hardware is passionate about their community. They support the Lions Club, Fight Like a Kid, and numerous other organizations, including youth, high school, and adult sports programs. Whether helping their neighbors or helping their customers, Stedman's Ace Hardware truly is the helpful place. Shop Weber Grills, Blackstone Griddles, Traeger Pellet Grills and Pellets, and more, and get all the help you need at Stedman's Ace Hardware, 110 South College in downtown Stuttgart. Stedman's Ace Hardware, the helpful place.
Stuttgart gives up 1 in the home half of the second. Scores tied at 1, but it could have been worse. Lonoke loaded the bases with 1 out, and Axton McCray induced a couple of pop-ups to get out of the inning. Middle infield did a nice job going back out into shallow outfield to make plays. So, top of the order at the plate for the Birds here to lead things off in the third. Caden Scaife leads it off. He walked and was cut down on a 5-4 fielder's choice in the first inning. As Caden Wallace back in for his third inning of work. And that's a strike. CC's going to see some pitches. He is a pretty good leadoff hitter out there. That's a curveball that missed up, I think. Wallace is working pretty quick now. Scaife asks for time. Now he's ready. As the 1-1's on the way, Scaife hits it to the right side. Foul. One ball, 2 strikes on the Ricebird designated hitter. As Lonoke's pitcher has got a few words for the home plate umpire there. I'm not sure what that was about. The home plate umpire gave Wallace a baseball and then looked like Wallace may have chirped at him a little bit. I don't think he liked that 0-1 fastball. And so here is the 1-2. I missed outside 2-2. Boy, Lonoke's still chirping about that pitch count. They think it's 1 fewer than it should be. But once again, I'm pretty confident that our crack official scores keepers up here, they know what they're doing. And that's a pop-up on the infield. That one Wind may do some funny things to it. The center fielder ranges way over into right field to finally make the catch. He almost was in shallow right center field where he made the catch. So Scaife is down on a P8 as Fontenot will come to the plate. Austin hit into a fielder's choice in the first. I can't wait if McCray comes out for an inning with one pitch and Lonoke thinks he should be done. That is the fireworks that will ensue will be glorious. I look forward to it. I really do. Here's the first one to Fontenot. Hits it in the air to the left side as the shortstop goes back, makes the catch. There's two gone. That'll be a good opportunity for Coach Randy Deaton to flex his tournament director muscles. We'll just lock the doors and close the windows. They think the pitch count's off. All right, here's the first one to JD, and he popped that one up a mile high behind home plate. Engel throws the mask, makes the catch. That'll do it for the Birds. They go 1-2-3 into the third. Nice job by Wallace to get his team back into the dugout as we head to the bottom of the third inning, tied at 1. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
At Southern Bancorp, we believe in a style of banking that's more than one size fits all. We think it should be personalized to your needs, no matter your zip code or financial position. Whether you need help with credit building or savings, small business support or home ownership, flexible lending, or even free tax prep, there's a path to opportunity for everyone at Southern Bancorp. We believe in your future, and we want to help you get there. Visit banksouthern.com today. Southern Bancorp, wealth builders for everyone. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Express Employment Professionals in Stuttgart has immediate openings for all job types and skill levels. Come in today to apply or go online to expresspros.com. Express is now hiring clerical, office administration, warehouse and production, equipment operators, CDL drivers, welders, machine operators, general labor, and all sorts of skilled trades. Even if you're just thinking about a new job, start your search with Express Employment Professionals at 1904 South Main in Stuttgart. Come in today or go online to expresspros.com.
Tohatsu Outboard offers 4-stroke motors from 2.5 to 250 horsepower, and all with a 5-year warranty. Built with their one-of-a-kind direct injection technology, Tohatsu has revolutionized environmental performance, uncompromising their pursuit of durable and lightweight outboard motors. And with interest rates as low as 4.99% financing, now is the time to get a new Tohatsu motor from Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart. Call Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart or click on maxbw.com. Great service and competitive prices. Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart. The hunt begins here.
Lonoke sends 2-3-4 to the plate. Peyton Wallace, Kalen Calhoun, and Lane Ox. Axton McCray on for his third inning of work. He has allowed 2 hits so far and an error, and I believe a walk or an HBP. It was an HBP. 2 HBPs. First pitch to Wallace way outside for ball 1. And we are underway. Here is the next one. That's a base hit right back through the box for the leadoff single for Wallace. He just kind of poked the bat head out there. Hit it in to center field. That brings Calhoun to the plate. Kalen reached on a fielder's choice and was thrown out at second base to end the first inning. Lonoke brings a courtesy runner into the game for Peyton Wallace, the pitcher. Calhoun bats from the right side as McCray has to work around some leadoff traffic, checks on the runner, back in time. First pitch to Calhoun is a curveball for a strike. Nothing in 1 on the Jackrabbit first baseman. Another curveball. That's another strike as it just clipped the inside part of the plate. And now Calhoun has to hit with 2 strikes. That pitch did not make Lonoke's coach happy down that third base box. Here's the 0-2, hit in the air right at the shortstop, out of it, over his head. Fontenot with a nice job to cut it off, holding the base runner to second. But Lonoke is threatening once again here in the third with runners on and nobody out. So Calhoun with a nice piece of 2-out hitting, hit it right at Byers, but just over his head. And Lane Ox comes to the plate. Ox singled and scored in the second. Stuttgart needs an out. Fastball down for ball 1. One 0 pitch coming, and now time called as McCray airmails one to the backstop. That's the second time today that time was called at the plate as McCray was just ready to get into his delivery. Runners take their leads at first and second. Nobody out, bottom of the third inning, tied at 1. That's a strike on the corner. And it's 1-1. Nice spot there for McCray. Kind of a pitcher's pitch on the outer half. Now McCray's ready with the 1-1. Ground ball, line drive in right field. We might have a play at the plate. Rogers comes in. Throw is cut off, and they'll hold the runner at third. Probably a good decision. Don't want to make the first out of the inning at home, as Rogers has already picked up an outfield assist here this tournament. And we may see some changes here for Stuttgart. Coach Brown comes out to talk to the pitcher with the bases loaded and nobody out. Lonoke is certainly threatening here. At this point, you kind of concede a run, but you just don't want to give up more than one if you can help it. We'll see how Coach Brown wants to play it as he's talking to his infield on the mound, as Lonoke has put together back-to-back singles to load the bases with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Dagan Duncan threw yesterday. Not sure if he's available today or not, but it doesn't look like we're going to see a pitching change. It looks like we're going to see McCray stay. As Coach Brown will head back to the dugout. As McCray will stay on the rubber for the Ricebirds. So Stuttgart looks like they're going to bring the infield in. You know, that's a little controversial. Early, although we are creeping into the middle innings, I mean, you know, you hate to give up a run, but you certainly hate to have an infield single happen that allows for a big crooked inning because you brought the infield in. I kind of understand bringing the corners in here. You wonder if maybe playing the middle back. But if you get that run at the plate, then obviously it's the right call. So you can second guess everything. Here's the first pitch. It's outside, ball 1. Nowhere to put him, so McCray will have to come with a strike. The only run of the game for Lonoke was a bases loaded hit by pitch. And they're back with the bases loaded here in the third, and a 1-0 count on the batter. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Here comes Rogers. He makes the catch. They're going to tag the runner from third. Rogers wisely throws to second to keep Calhoun from moving up to third, and Lonoke leads it 2-1. So there are worse things that could happen. Good decision by Cameron Rogers. He could have easily tried to airmail that to the plate, but if he would have, that would have put a runner at third with less than 2 outs. So that was a heady play by Rogers. So now Stuttgart could be a pitch away from getting out of the inning. And only 1 run crossing would be fine with the bases loaded, nobody out situation, but a lot of work to do for that to happen. Calhoun takes the lead at second. Here's the pitch from McCray. That's a curveball that misses up for ball 1. Ox is the base runner at first, so that is a sack F9 for Ryder Engel, scoring Wallace. Well, Wallace's position in the lineup, or the batting order. Here's the 1-0 in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Tyson Vance, the third baseman, is the batter for Lonoke. He singled and was stranded at third base in the bottom of the second. Here's the next one. Almost hit him, and it's 3-0. So McCray in danger of walking him loaded again. McCray has to come with a strike here. We'll see if Vance takes one. And that's ball 4. So they're loaded again. This time for Darius Jeffries, the Lonoke left fielder who reached on an error in the second inning. So with the bases loaded and 1 out now, we'll see Stuttgart looks like they're going to bring the corners in. The infield will play back at double play depth. So McCray comes set, nowhere to put him. First pitch to Jeffries is hit in the air to shortstop. Back goes Byers and makes the catch, and there's 2 outs. So 1 pitch and a big second out here in the bottom of the third inning of Jeffries, and that brings Walker Smith to the plate. Walker Smith he has the other RBI today. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the second. Lonoke leads at 2-1. They have bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Fastball misses outside for a ball. One 1-0 count. Defense back in regular positions as McCray brings it. Outside ball 2. So Smith is in a hitter's count, 2 balls and no strikes. He can look fastball here, although McCray's best pitch has been his curveball today. He's thrown it with some consistency, although he has hit a couple of batters. And that's 3-0. So McCray in danger of walking in a run. He's already forced in one with a hit HBP so far. He's trying to work around a bases loaded, nobody out situation, only giving up 1, but he's a ball away from walking in a run. Big pitch upcoming. Almost assuredly Smith will take, and that's ball 4. So 2 runs will cross in the inning, and Lonoke continues to bat, and I wouldn't be shocked to see something happen here. Let's see if Coach Brown stays with his starter. Hayden Prine's going to go out to talk to Axton. Although this is the number 9 batter, so let's see. They're talking. Stuttgart is kind of short arms here in the postseason. They really need Axton to give them a few more if possible to bridge to Dagan. So Tanner Starks comes to the plate. He popped up to the second baseman in the second, and he bats with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the third. A lot of pitches for McCray the last 2 innings. That's a strike at the knees. That was almost assuredly a take sign given to Starks there after McCray had thrown 4 straight balls. Still, if Stuttgart can get out of the inning only allowing 2, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, and that one's in the dirt. Nice job Prine to glove it to keep it from going to the backstop. If the ball goes to the backstop here, it is a run because you need a cutoff man to get it from the backstop to the plate. It is a long way. Here's the 1-1. Outside 2-1. McCray's kind of lost the strike zone here. Fontenot shaded way into the right center field gap. Of course, the wind's going to push it that way anyway. 2-1 hit on a line right at J.D. Herzog, just out of his reach into right field. 1 run will score. Here comes another one, and Lonoke's blown it open here. So Stuttgart thought they might get out of it with little damage done, and an RBI, 2 RBI single will plate 2 more, and it's 5-1 Lonoke. And that's going to be it for Axton. Dagan probably not an option here as they're down 5-1. Stuttgart's offense is going to need to make it interesting because they'll need him tomorrow. Not that you're not playing for today, but we'll see what Coach Brown does as he's dealing with some injuries. Caden Scaife's dealing with a hip, and it does look like it might be Caden. So looks like the senior's going to try to gut it out and give Coach Brown a few innings as Scaife, little surprise. We weren't sure if he was available, but he's going to head out, and that'll be it for Axton McCray. We can't close the book on him yet. He's responsible for the 2 base runners as C.C. Scaife will come on and try to get the final out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 5-1 Lonoke. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Ricebird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
Monthly club meetings at the French team in Stuttgart provide education and inspiration for sewing, embroidery, and silhouette digital cutting. If you're interested in joining these small groups, call the French team today at 870-673-8156. There is no fee to join, but registration is required for both Bernina Club and Creative Club. Call today for this month's schedule. Call 673-8156 for the French team, 2015 South Berkel in Stuttgart, FrenchTeam.com, and French Team Stuttgart on Facebook.
Are you tired of leaking on yourself? Tired of those embarrassing moments? Do you have chronic sciatica? Low back pain? Are you experiencing painful intercourse? Hemorrhoids? Maybe you're dealing with erectile dysfunction. Would you like to improve your balance? And oh, the incontinence. Did you know that all of that can be resolved in as little as 3 weeks? That's right, only 28 minutes twice a week for 3 weeks. Most people notice a difference after their 2nd session. The Emcella by BTL is so easy to use. You stay fully clothed. It's totally non-invasive. And there is 95% patient satisfaction. This is a breakthrough for incontinence and ED. And we here at the Katie Shack have made all of this relief possible for you. So why put up with those symptoms, especially now that you know that there is a cure? We have special financing available, and we have amazing, affordable packaging deals. This is FDA approved and proven. Please call us at 870-873-4300 and let us help you on this journey to a better, healthier way of life.
Stuttgart thought they might get out of the inning with only 1 run, but the bottom of the order for Lonoke with a base hit and a walk has blown it open. And the Jackrabbits lead at 5-1 and threatening with runners at the corners and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rds. Caden Scaife on in relief of Axton McCray. The senior has not thrown in the regional so far. And he will try to get Stuttgart back into the dugout and maybe see if the offense can shake it up a little bit. Starting to be a little warm out there as the temperature is climbing on the thermometer. So top of the order for the Bunnies, J.T. Stewart. It's Tanner Starks with the big single. Blow this thing open. It started with back-to-back-to-back singles to start the inning, then a sacrifice fly to score 1. A walk, a pop-up, and another walk and a single. So 4 hits and 2 walks in the inning. It resulted in 4 Jackrabbit runs. Softball is done for the day. Coach Prince just walked into the press box. Did Southside end up winning, Coach? So Southside knocks off Lonoke 5-4. They'll move on to the regional finals. Lonoke will play Jonesboro Westside tomorrow at noon. Gosnell and Southside in the championship game. First pitch from Scaife is downstairs for ball 1. Top of the order, so I'm sure Lonoke won't really get too aggressive here. First to third. Take the bat out of their leadoff batter's hand. Oh, no, they are going to go. They're going to send the runner to second. He is completely ignored, and the ball's tapped to the pitcher. It's going to be Prine that comes out to field his position, and that'll finally get Stuttgart out of the inning. Scaife only needs 2 pitches. But the damage was done. Lonoke scored 4. They lead it 5-1. As we head to the top of the 4th, the Rice Birds will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. Bo Barnes, Dagan, Duncan, Keaton Byers when we come back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
Did you know that since 1907, Lane has been providing water services to cities, industries, and farmers, not just in the Grand Prairie area, but all across the state. Lane provides pump sales and installation, constructs and designs water wells, and installs underground pipes. Lane also has an in-house machine shop, which is prepared to service and repair all brands and sizes of pumps, gear drives, and motors, along with the complete parts department open to the public. For all your water needs, contact Lane first at 2015 South Main in Stuttgart, or call 870-673-1591.
This is Kim Buffet. When it comes to personalized shopping, our staff at Coker Hampton Drug Company and Gift Shop in downtown Stuttgart are your trusted tastemakers. With nearly 100 years in our charming downtown, our gift shop offers a unique shopping experience, including bridal and baby registries. Explore our curated selection of many popular and well-known brands and products, from apparel to gourmet food, jewelry, and more. Join us where thoughtful presents meet personalized service at Coker Hampton Drug Company and Gift Shop at 218 South Main in downtown Stuttgart.
Hi, this is Jennifer Smith from Wilkerson Jewelers. The real value in any jewelry is the sentimental connection that you have to the pieces you own. The beautiful earrings your grandparents gave you when you graduated. The amazing engagement ring your fiance surprised you with. The watch your company presented you with when you retired from your job. For over 50 years, Wilkerson's has been a part of those special moments. And we love that we get to be a small part of some of the most important experiences of your lives. No matter what your budget, come in to shop or check us out online at wilkersonjewelers.com. Easy financing and layaway are available. At Wilkerson Jewelers in beautiful downtown Stuttgart, we want to build memories with you.
Peyton Wallace Caden Wallace is playing in the Cubs organization. Peyton Wallace on for his 4th inning of work. He'll face 4, 5, and 6. He had a long time to sit over there in the Lonoke dugout there in the bottom of the 3rd inning as the Bunnies almost batted around. So Bo Barnes bats. He struck out in the 2nd. And he bats to lead things off here in the 4th. Base is empty. Jackrabbits lead at 5-1. Curveball for a strike, and that has definitely been the go-to pitch for Peyton Wallace this afternoon. Oh, 0-1 catches the outer half, and some in maroon question whether it did catch the outer half. It's 0-2 now. And Barnes is behind. He'll have to hit with 2 strikes. Check swing, and I think they're going to call a foul as Coach Brown's going to come down and ask if it hit him. I don't know if it hit off the end of the knob of the bat or what happened, but Wallace definitely came inside on Barnes, and he kind of checked his swing, but he must have gotten a piece of it, fouled it down the line, so we'll do the 0-2 again. Here it comes from Wallace. Barnes fouls it off the end of his bat into the parking lot. Oh and 2, Rice Birds need base runners, down 4 here in the middle innings. Here's the 0-2 to Barnes. Off speed in the dirt. Catcher's going to have to throw down to first to complete the out, and he does. And there's 1 out. K2-3 on the put out. Dagan Duncan bats. He grounded out to the second baseman in the 2nd. Stuttgart's just kind of going quietly right now offensively. First one to Dagan, check swing, and man, that zone is just getting bigger. Curveball for a strike as Wallace has entered the 4th inning, is pumping baseballs into the strike zone. He's working very quickly, as he should. He is found the zone right now. Here's the 0-2 to Dagan. Downstairs, 1 and 2. Duncan hasn't had a particularly good regional. He didn't swing it very good yesterday. He awaits the 1-2, swing and a miss, and that's 2 gone. Keaton Byers to the plate with the bases empty and 2 outs. It was 2-out rally in the second inning when Stuttgart got their lone run, so we can see if they can have some 2-out magic here in the top of the 4th. Wallace cruising here in the middle innings. Byers hits it in the air to the right side. The right fielder camps out underneath it, makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Birds in the 4th. 3 up, 3 down, and we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Lonoke leads at 5-1. Back in 90 seconds, you're listening to Ricebird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
Express Employment Professionals in Stuttgart has immediate openings for all job types and skill levels. Come in today to apply or go online to expresspros.com. Express is now hiring clerical, office administration, warehouse and production, equipment operators, CDL drivers, welders, machine operators, general labor, and all sorts of skilled trades. Even if you're just thinking about a new job, start your search with Express Employment Professionals at 1904 South Main in Stuttgart. Come in today or go online to expresspros.com.
Hello, this is Kyle Stovison with Ag Heritage Farm Credit Services in Stuttgart. If you're looking to purchase or refinance farm real estate, equipment, cattle, or need capital for your crop operating expenses, we finance it all and share our profits through our patronage program. At Ag Heritage, we have friendly loan officers, competitive rates, and most of all, a lender who provides you with a financing package tailor-made to fit your individual needs. Please contact Kevin Wingfield or myself, Kyle Stovison, in Stuttgart at 870-673-1558. Ag Heritage Farm Credit Services is an equal housing lender.
Baptist Health Women's Clinic Stuttgart is committed to providing quality patient care through all stages of a woman's life. We understand that different health concerns come with each new phase of a woman's life, so we provide education services, trained staff, and a board-certified OBGYN to meet every female body need. From pregnancy and childbirth through osteoporosis and gynecological exams, Baptist Health delivers the care you need to pursue a lifetime of wellness. Learn more at BaptistHealthWomen.com. Baptist Health, for you, for life.
Caden Scaife on for his second inning of work. He got the Ricebirds out of a bases-loaded jam to end the 3rd. He will start things off here. He'll have to see 2, 3, and 4 in the bunny lineup. Peyton Wallace, Kaylin Calhoun, Lane Hawks. It's been the middle of Lonoke's lineup that's done the damage this afternoon. In fact, all 5 runs have been scored by the 2 through 6 batters. So Scaife is going to try to be efficient here, get his team into the dugout, and just maybe the Birds can offensively get something going. Otherwise, you have to start thinking about saving some arms for tomorrow, which is kind of the thing you don't like to talk about. There's that outside corner that's been generous today for strike 1 for Scaife. You don't want to talk about it. Obviously, you still got outs to score runs, but you've also got to be ready to play tomorrow. So tournament baseball is different. Here's the next one to Wallace outside, 1-1 now. No changes defensively for the Ricebirds. They're straight away. Fontenot shaded to left slightly. Barnes is maybe a step toward the line at 3rd. Upstairs, ball 2. Here's the 2-1. Ground ball, that's going to be a tough play. Barnes cuts it off. Fields fires in the dirt, not in time, as just a slow roller that resulted in an infield single for Peyton Wallace. Barnes did a good job cutting it off, but didn't have much of a chance to throw out Wallace at first. Nice job by Duncan to pick it out of the dirt to keep it to a single. And for the 3rd inning in a row, for the 4th inning in a row, Lonoke has the leadoff man on. Kaylin Calhoun at the plate. He singled and scored in the 3rd and reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st, so he's 1 for 2 today. And that pitch is to the backstop. That's going to allow the base runner to move up. Brian chases it down as Wallace's courtesy runner cruises into second. Feels like the Jackrabbits certainly are in control of this one, leading 5-1 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's the next one from Scaife. Checks on the runner. Here's the pitch. Outside, and Prine just missed that one, and that's going to allow the courtesy runner to move to third. Those are a couple of pitches that I assume will be scored as pass balls. And that allows Lonoke to put a man on third with nobody out and the number 3 batter at the plate. So it just feels like maybe the energy's kind of out of the facility here right now after that big 4-run third for the Bunnies. Next one. Outside. And it's 3-0. So walks and free bases have really been the problem for the Birds. They've given up too many, also with an error and a couple of pass balls. Got to come with a strike here, and I believe he hit him. So that's going to put runners at the corners now. Nobody out, and Lonoke threatening to extend the 5-1 lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The designated hitter, Lane Ox, at the plate. Ox has 2 for 2 today with 2 singles and 2 runs scored. And he could play to run a lot of ways here. We'll see how they play Calhoun at first. He's being held by Duncan. Runners at the corners. As Scaife comes set. And it's fouled to the right side, out of play for strike 1. Rice Birds play tomorrow regardless. If they can come back, they'll play at, I believe, 2:30, the regional final. Lose, and they play at noon in the third place game. The question is simply what time and who's the opponent going to be? Either Southside or Brooklyn. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1-1. So 3 of the 4 teams remaining are from the 4A6. That's Stuttgart's conference. Brooklyn, the only team from the 4A3 that advances to the state tournament. Check on the runner, and Duncan just didn't catch it. That's going to allow a run to score from third. Calhoun's going to round second. They're going to try to go first to third, and the throw's not in time, and wheels kind of coming loose here on the Birds in the fourth. That's going to probably be scored in E3. And well, you see it sometimes where a lot of emotion yesterday, qualifying for the state tournament and having to come back out today and kind of play at that same level against a very good Lonoke team. And Stuttgart hadn't been able to do it. They've struggled in this one, trailing now 6-1. That's the second error of the game. And that pitch is off the plate, and it's 2-1 on the batter. So now you really need to start thinking about how long you want to stay with Scaife if, in fact, he would be available tomorrow in that consolation game. The assumption is, well, I shouldn't be talking about that yet. We're not there. Now it's 3-1. So Scaife going to have to kind of refocus here after a few, maybe not a lot of help from his defense, a couple of pass balls and an E3. He's going to have to refocus and find the zone. 3-1 on the batter. That's Ox with a runner at third, Calhoun. 1 run already in the bottom of the fourth. Wind still blowing. You can probably hear it on the microphone. Coming not quite as hard maybe as when we started the game. There's a strike. Ox thought that he had drawn a walk, but he'll have to stay where he was, and the count's got 2 strikes on him, so Scaife can maybe get an out here. Here's the pitch. Check swing, didn't go around, and that's going to be a walk. Runners at the corners. They will appeal it, but he did not go around, and so Stuttgart has runners at the corners, still nobody out, and I'm honestly not sure where the Rice Birds would go now. My understanding is Keaton Byers may be dealing with some injury. The assumption is they're not going to use Dagan Duncan today now, especially, as they probably will use him tomorrow, whether it's in the 12 o'clock or 2:30 game. Herzog is not available as he threw almost 100 pitches yesterday. So quite honestly, I'm really not sure who's next in the pecking order. Might be Bo Barnes. We're kind of looking at one another in the box, wondering the same thing. We're really not sure. Could be Hayden Prine. He could throw. Bo Barnes could throw. But hopefully Scaife can find the strike zone and Rice Birds can get out of the fourth here with not too much damage done. As we do have a courtesy runner at first, and he's going to fake like he's going to steal, and the pitch is inside for ball one. So CC is just not finding the strike zone here. He looked pretty good in the third, but again, just a lot has worked against him here. A couple of pass balls in E3, and feels like maybe he's in his head a little bit. Boy, it's a lot harder to do than it is to talk about. Here's the 1-0. There goes the runner, and the pitch is to the backstop. That's going to score the run from third, and Lonoke will have a runner at second, and nobody out. So 7-1, and boy, this is one of those situations that nobody likes to be in. Coach Brown's going to come out. Will it be to talk or will it be to make a move? We'll see. He crosses the line at first, and he's going to come out, bring his infield together. Right now, you've just got to get tough. You got to be a little tougher than you've been right now. You got to dauber down, get a little serious, and let's see if we can get these last three outs. Stuttgart's kind of in their feelings a little bit right now, specifically the man on the bump. And I understand. I've been out there. I know what it feels like. But you're just going to have to focus in and do what you can and try to – sometimes you just got to wear one for the team, and that might be what Coach Brown's going to ask CC to do here. Try to get to tomorrow. We'll see. Doesn't look like there's going to be a change. It looks like he's going to stay with his senior right-hander. And I think this was just a get your head up conversation. So Scaife will stay on the bump. Runner at second. Nobody out. 2 runs have crossed. Lonoke leads at 7-1. And that last pitch to the backstop wasn't close. CC just kind of overthrew it. That was a wild pitch. So in this inning alone, we've had 2 pass balls, a wild pitch, and an E3. And that's the reason we saw 2-run score, runner at second, and still nobody out. So count on the board says 1-0. As Scaife comes set, checks on the runner at second. And here's the pitch. And that almost hit the batter, Ryder Engel. So Engel will kind of stretch out the traps a little bit. Now he's ready. Back in that box with a 2-0 count. Pitch from Scaife is on the way. And there's that outside corner that has been generous, and it continues to be generous, and it's 2-1. We'll take it. Needed that one. Boy, if you're in the field right now, this is the moment the ball's going to be hit right at you after struggling to find the strike zone. Somebody needs to make a play. Here's the 2-1 from Scaife. In the dirt. Now, it must have been a 3-1 because that is a walk of Ryder Engel. Puts runners at first and second now with nobody out. So runners at first and second, nobody out. And third baseman Tyson Vance into the game. We're going to have a courtesy runner for Engel, the catcher. He will leave the field to play. As Vance will come to the plate. Vance has scored 2. He's singled and walked today, so he's 1 for 1. And he can add to the Jackrabbit lead with a base hit here. As Scaife comes set. First one to Vance is on the way, and it is a strike called. No balls and a strike. Scaife delivers the 0-1 now. Checks on the runner. Here it is. Outside, 1-1.
First game, team was down 9-0. They still lost. They came back 11-7. 11-7?
1-1 delivery. Foul ball to the right side, out of play, 1-2. Stuttgart just needs something good to happen right now. Whether it's a strikeout, a pop out, a caught stealing, something. Stuttgart just needs something good to happen here in the bottom of the fourth. Something to get the energy level up a little bit. Something was wrong with that baseball. They just threw it out in the dugout. So Scaife didn't like it. He said, I don't like it. It's not round. It's not pearly white enough. Too stained. So the 1-2 delivery. Boy, we need a strikeout here. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, foul down the first baseline. Another 1-2 upcoming from the right-hander. Comes set. He will give a peek to the base runner at second. And deliver. Up and in, ball 2. Scaife's lost his hat quite a few times this afternoon. He picks it back up, puts it on his head. Now he's ready. Stuttgart's wearing the maroon top. Room hats with the big block S on the front. Maroon bills. As Scaife comes with 2-2. Outside, 3-2. So after getting ahead in the count, Vance has worked back to a full count, and Scaife will have to come with a strike here or reload the bases. Still nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. And that's going to be a bases on balls, and the bases are loaded for Darius Jeffries, the left fielder. And I think that's going to do it for Scaife as Coach Brown comes out. And he will make a move. We will see. Looks like it's going to be Cameron Rogers. He pointed to right field, so it looks like the left-handed Cameron Rogers will come into the game. So before we take the break, we'll tell you how everything's going to shake out here. As Rogers will come into the game, I believe, inheriting a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation. Scaife not able to get an out in the fourth. 2 runs have crossed so far. 7-1, Lonoke in front. And let's see. Yeah, it's going to be Cameron Rogers coming in to pitch for the Rice Birds. The left-hander moves from right field to the plate. C.C. Scaife is going to stay in the game. He'll head out to right field, and that looks to be the only change. So nothing changes in the lineup. And we'll go ahead while Cameron gets loose. We will take a break. When we come back, hopefully, we will tell you about 3 outs in the bottom of the fourth. We're going to do that in 2 minutes. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck.
Do you know how much life insurance your partner has? What company is it with? Do you have life insurance? Is it through your employer only, or do you have a policy that you own? This is Holly Brothers, and as a life insurance agent, it is my responsibility to discuss the types of coverage available to you and put a plan in place for when your employer no longer provides coverage. Life insurance costs more as we age, so don't wait to apply. Let's lock in your rate today and save. Give Keith or myself a call at Connection Insurance 870-673-9249.
Tohatsu Outboard offers 4-stroke motors from 2.5 to 250 horsepower, and all with a 5-year warranty. Built with their one-of-a-kind direct injection technology, Tohatsu has revolutionized environmental performance, uncompromising in their pursuit of durable and lightweight outboard motors. And with interest rates as low as 4.99% financing, now is the time to get a new Tohatsu motor from Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart. Call Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart or click on maxbw.com. Great service and competitive prices. Max Prairie Wings in Stuttgart. The hunt begins here.
Are you tired of unreliable internet service? Do you constantly run over your data plan? Are you having trouble getting internet service where you live? With TechStream high-speed internet, you'll get consistent high speeds and low latency that doesn't stop at city limits. TechStream high-speed internet is perfect for homes, small and large businesses, farmers, and hunting clubs. You'll be able to stream, game, and surf with no interruptions. Servicing Arkansas, Lonoke, Prairie, Jefferson, and Lincoln counties. TechStream is your locally owned and operated high-speed internet solution. Call toll-free 866-268-0101 or visit TechStream.net.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're not just a bank, we're a part of your community. That's why we're dedicated to being the neighbors who are in your corner right here in Arkansas. Whether you're saving for a new home, planning for your future, or managing your everyday finances, Farmers and Merchants Bank has the friendly local knowledge and personalized services to help you reach your goals. Farmers and Merchants Bank, in your corner, supporting the community we all call home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Cameron Rogers in, a bases loaded, nobody out situation, and the first pitch is a strike. If you're watching us on the EAB Stuttgart YouTube channel and you have not been able to hear, we have had some technical difficulties. That technical difficulty is I'm an idiot, and I forgot to hit the unmute button. So don't get mad at Skinner. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault. Although we have turned off the comments for that very reason. We've learned our lesson. Foul ball down the first base line, 0-2. Darius Jeffries, left fielder for the Bunnies. Walker Smith on deck. Tanner Starks in the hole. And hopefully it doesn't go past that. Bases loaded, nobody out. Lonoke scored 2. They lead it 7-1. As Rogers looks to get out of the jam. That one's in the dirt, 1-2. Runners will take their leads. Bo Barnes in on the grass at third. Duncan in front of the runner at first. Fontenot shaded pretty good ways to right center field. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Popped him up. Byers goes back. He will make the catch. Probably was an infield fly. And so mercifully, the first out of the inning is recorded. So Rogers comes in and gets an out of Jeffries. That brings Walker Smith to the plate. If there's anything good about the situation, Lonoke's only scored 2, and they're at the bottom of the order. So 7-1. We saw a game earlier today. Brooklyn jumped ahead of Southside 9-0 in the first inning, and Southside came back, cut it to 9-7 before Brooklyn ended up winning 11-7. So, and that is going to be an HBP, which will score another run. First pitch hits Walker Smith on the hip, and it is 8-1 now. So Rogers came in with the fastball, came just a little bit too far in. And the bases are still loaded, and Tanner Starks comes to the plate. Starks has had a pretty good day from the bottom of the order. He had a single earlier that scored a couple of runs. And we're going to have time called, and we may have a change here. Let's see, maybe a pinch runner, yes. So Walker Smith is going to be lifted for a pinch runner. Number 34. Number 34 came prepared with the oven mitt. He's ready to run the bases. Where do you buy those? Like, can you get them at, like, what, Dick's Sporting Goods or online? Walmart. They have them at Walmart? I've never seen one at Walmart. That's a good point. Go to the homewares. It's a good point.
Just need the rubber one so you slide.
Bases loaded. Well, it's a pretty sky right now. There's a little bit of blue-gray, kind of stormy to the east, but the sun's shining, kind of backlighting it from the west. It's actually a very pretty look. Here's the pitch to Smith, and it is outside. I'll tell you what you can do. If you are looking for a good investment, I've got it for you. The CG something outdoor, CG, whatever they are, the GCI Outdoors, the rocking chair lawn chairs with the cylinder and piston thing where it's like a rocking chair. You need to invest in those if you're at home right now. Right now, when we started this game, there were 62. I counted them. 62 of those. I mean, the exact same style, exact same everything. They must have had a flash sale. Here's the pitch to Starks. Come on, give us that one, buddy. We need you to give us. Yeah, we're going to try the stand-up game again here and see if we can get out of the inning. 3 balls and no strikes. Rogers is in danger of walking in a run here. It worked yesterday. There's a strike. It's already working. So 3 balls and a strike to the Jackrabbit right fielder, Tanner Starks. J.T. Stewart in the top of the order waits on deck. As Rogers comes set, here's the pitch. Fly ball right field. Back goes Scaife. He might not get there. He doesn't. It's up against the wall, and that might clear the bases. Starks is chasing the man at first. He's going to have to come back to second, and that's going to put 2 across on a deep fly ball to right field. Scaife got a glove on it, but he couldn't make the catch as he crashed into the wall, and that swing makes it 10-1 in favor of Lonoke, and Tanner Starks in the number 9 spot is responsible for 4 RBIs and a 2-for-3 afternoon. So he has done damage at the bottom of the order. And just like that last inning, Stuttgart trying to claw their way out of a bases-loaded jam. Couldn't do it, and a big swing from Starks does it. So Scaife's going to be checked on by Coach Brown. He's dealing with a hip injury anyway, and he took a pretty good crash out there in right field. We'll see if he stays in the game. As if it's 325 to right field, Starks hit that one about 315. Hit it a long way. CC got a good jump on it. He just couldn't quite get there. So Scaife's going to stay in the game. And there'll be runners at second and third, 1 out for the top of the order, and J.T. Stewart here with Lonoke leading at 10-1. And at this point now you're kind of looking at run rule territory. So Stewart today has had a good day. He's actually 0 for 2 with an HBP, but he's been very productive in those pitches. And now we're going to have time called, as it does look like Scaife's going to exit the game. So CC will leave the game. I can't tell who was entered into the game. It's hard to see the number. Is it Knox Hillman maybe? Yeah, we're gonna go with Knox Hillman for now. So Scaife is been lifted out of the game. We don't know how serious the injury is. He was already dealing with a bad hip coming into the game. So he will be lifted for, we think that's Knox Hillman, the freshman out there, before the first pitch is thrown to J.T. Stewart. So a long inning is continuing to get longer. As Stewart digs in from the left side to face the left-handed Cameron Rogers. Comes set, and the pitch is a called strike out on the outside corner, and Cam just kind of grins a little bit because I think that might have been off the plate. The 0-1 is on the way. Same spot, same result. Hey, if you're going to give me that, go there 3 times in a row, Mr. Rogers. Well, there's an opportunity for a joke there. We want to stay in his neighborhood. All right, Pride's going to go back out there again. Let's see if he can hit it 3 times in a row. It's a little bit too far inside, and Stewart hits it into center field. That's going to score 1. They're going to send the runner from second, and the throw's not in time, and 2 more cross, and it's 12-1. So 12-1, Lonoke's in front on a 2 RBI single from J.T. Stewart on an 0-2 pitch. And this one is not looking to go the way of the host team. As Peyton Wallace bats, we'll see if, be interesting to see if Lonoke's going to stay with Wallace. I don't know what his pitch count is. He probably has gone over his pitch count to be able to throw tomorrow. So I bet they will stay with him and save the rest of their arms for tomorrow. As Rogers delivers the first outside. Although, if worse comes to worse, I mean, that does at least unload the bases. It feels like every pitch has been with bases loaded for the last 25 minutes. Luke Methvin's back at the station, probably shaking his head right now. As Rogers delivers the 1-0, and it's hit out of play for strike one. Where'd that one go? Oh, I think that one might have hit a car. If you are driving a silver Honda, maybe a Honda Pilot, I think you just got a dent in the top of your hood.
Do we call it a dent or do we call it a souvenir?
Well, that's a great question. Here's the next one. Strike called. Great question was just asked, is that a dent or is that a souvenir? I guess it's all about perspective. I mean, isn't that life? Life's about perspective. It was free. It was free. You earned it at the game. What do you think, Coach? Logan Prince, is it a dent or a souvenir if you get hit and the Coach Prince says it's a dent all the way? 1-2 misses inside, and it's 2-2. Yeah, if you got the laces, though, like if you could see the laces in the dent, then it's if nothing else, it's a story. It's a story. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Wallace. Tattooed the car. That one's fouled to the backstop. Boy, if it wouldn't have been for the net, it might have clipped the press box there. Looks like some of the home fans are starting to pack things up down the first base line. A few people are picking up their CGI outdoor rocket chairs and hitting the exits. 2-2, swinging a drive left field. Lane Smith goes back, camps underneath it, and makes the catch. Nice play by Lane Smith for the second out of the inning. Should have checked what time this inning started because it's 5:08, and it has been, feels like we've been on the air for too long to just now be in the bottom of the fourth. Hey, our man back at the station, Luke, he's got to drive to Greenbrier coming up when he leaves, huh? Yeah, baby, call that inside pitch a strike all day, every day. Luke, when you leave, go by Hit Casey's on the way out and grab one of those 89-cent fountain drinks on me. I'll catch you next week. I'll drop that $1. Here's the next one. That's strike 2, and the Rice Birds are a strike away from getting out of the frame. Calhoun bats third for the Bunnies. Bases are empty, 2 outs. Oh, excuse me, runner at first, 2 outs. I'm sorry. How'd he get there? Here's the 0-2. Slap foul down the first baseline. Deep into the corner. Starting to cool off a little bit out there. Wind's picking up. Wouldn't be maybe some rain-cooled air somewhere around here. It was pretty hot about an hour ago. Here's the next one from Camden Rogers to Calhoun. Popped him up. Rogers comes in. He will make the catch, and the 4th inning comes to an end. Nice job by the left-hander. Now, he gave up a few, but he did a great job throwing strikes, get the Rice Birds out of the inning, but Lonoke pushes 7 across. They lead at 12-1 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. You're listening to Rice Bird Baseball on 105.5 The Duck. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
At Blue Seal Petroleum, serving you is their privilege. Blue Seal extends a heartfelt thank you to their valued customers across Arkansas and surrounding counties. Your trust in Blue Seal for your fuel, tire, and service needs is truly appreciated. It's your loyalty that has fueled their commitment to excellence for over 80 years. From the entire team at Blue Seal Petroleum, thank you for choosing them. They're here for you always. When you need them, call Blue Seal in DeWitt at 870-946-2281. And for Stuttgart, call 870-673-3126.
Freemeier's Best Brands Plus has been supporting Ricebirds athletics for 46 years in Stuttgart. We're honored to be a part of the Ricebird tradition. Freemeier's has joined with some of the best brands in America, including Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, Lazy Boy, and Sealy, to be able to supply our customers with the best values. Now, Freemeier's has gone a step further with guaranteed price matching. If you need home furnishings, make sure you check with Freemeier's, 201 South Main in downtown Stuttgart. Best brands, best prices, best people.
Are you tired of leaking on yourself? Tired of those embarrassing moments? Do you have chronic sciatica? Low back pain? Are you experiencing painful intercourse? Hemorrhoids? Maybe you're dealing with erectile dysfunction. Would you like to improve your balance? And oh, the incontinence. Did you know that all of that can be resolved in as little as 3 weeks? That's right, only 28 minutes twice a week for 3 weeks. Most people notice a difference after their second session. The Emcella by BTL is so easy to use. You stay fully clothed. It's totally non-invasive. And there is 95% patient satisfaction. This is a breakthrough for incontinence and ED. And we here at the Katie Shack have made all of this relief possible for you. So why put up with those symptoms, especially now that you know that there is a cure? We have special financing available, and we have amazing affordable packaging deals. This is FDA approved and proven. Please call us at 870-873-4300 and let us help you on this journey to a better, healthier way of life.
That brings Hayden Bryan to the plate. We were having some technical difficulties that weren't my fault that time. Just and to be fair, the equipment's getting old. We probably need to consider some upgrades for some of it. First pitch to Bryan is inside for ball one. Tell you what, the equipment's better than it used to be, though. Man. Foul tip, strike one, 1-1. As the 1-1 is on the way from Wallace, and he bounces it up there, 2-1. Sounds like if this score holds and Stuttgart is in the third place game, then the Ricebirds just might play either Joe T. Robinson or Morrilton in the first round of the 4A state tournament in Monticello. As Bryan hits one down the left field line, just foul. Of course, the state tournament in Monticello, it's going to be played at both Monticello High School and the campus of the University of Arkansas at Monticello. So only that first day, Thursday. So to keep from playing on 2 days, there's going to be 2 sites, and then everything will be moved to Monticello. Pride pops up to the shortstop. Nope, it's going to be Calhoun, the first baseman, that takes it, and that is the third out here in the fifth, and I believe that's probably going to be it. It should be, and it is. So Lonoke, with that catch, will finish off the Ricebirds, winning here this afternoon by a final score 12-1. Stuttgart will play Play tomorrow at noon against Southside Batesville. First pitch at 12 o'clock. Pregame show goes on the air at 11:45. Lonoke will play in the regional championship game at 2:30 against the Brooklyn Bearcats from Northeast Arkansas. And then once all of the dust settles, we'll know the final seating arrangements from the 4A2 Regional for next week's 4A State Tournament in Monticello. Of course, you can always pay attention to the Stuttgart Daily Leader to keep up with all of that. Also, check out the Country 97.3 Facebook page. Stuttgart High School's Facebook page also will be updating all of that information in I am sure, timely manner. So it wasn't the outcome that the Ricebirds hoped for, as Lonoke got after them pretty good in the third and the fourth, 4 in the third and 7 in the fourth, 1 in the second for the 12-1 lead. They out-hit the Ricebirds 8-3. Stuttgart with a couple of errors and just kind of seemed a little bit lackadaisical, maybe a lack of energy after that emotional win yesterday to qualify for the tournament. So if you've made it this far, we want to say thank you for making us a part of your Friday afternoon. Stuttgart plays tomorrow at noon. Pregame show at 11:45. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you guys at 11:45 tomorrow for the Blue Seal Petroleum pregame show. So long, everyone.